Hello, this is Baghdad calling. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. You already have 2 episodes to catch up on. This is the link. No pressure. You can go to the left of the screen. You can find some. You can watch. You can watch. I'll be here. I'll be waiting for you. I'll be here. See, I'm still here. My name has been and still is Ahmed al-Bashir, and I'm the host of Al-Bashir Show, an Arabic language satirical news program covering Middle East politics with focus on Iraqi affairs. I decided to get into English language television so I could complain to even more people about my problems. Like running out of Tinder swipes. You know what I'm talking about. It's like, are you seriously gonna make me pay $6.99 to validate my loneliness? I hate that. I hate it almost as much as sect or ethnicity-based tensions causing bloody civil conflict, or people whose corrupt policies let extremist groups rise and basically cause a genocide. Or worst of all, when your iPhone charger isn't long enough to stretch from the outlet to your bed so you can binge Netflix from the comfort of your blankets. Really, it's just not long enough. You don't want to get out of bed. And I just have so many problems, okay? You get the idea. In today's episode, we're talking about a few key figures from Iraq's recent past. Before this, we talked about the political system in Iraq and the current state of the Iraqocracy, which, yes, is still definitely not yet a democracy. But who in Iraq made all this possible? Since 2003, Iraq has had a handful of prime ministers. And before we get to the real star of our episode today, there were 2 men who came before. The first and the second prime minister of the new Iraqi Republic. First, there was Iyad Allawi, prime minister from 2004 to 2005. He knew, we knew, everyone knew that there were problems in Iraq that needed to be solved. But I wasn't the one tasked with solving the problems. You weren't the one who had to solve it. In this entire world, there is only one person who needed to solve Iraq's problems. And what does that one man say when he was asked about what was wrong in Iraq? I don't know. I don't know. Allawi just couldn't grasp the connection between cause and effect. Take any problem that Iraq was having, and there is going to be a cause. There is corruption because politicians are stealing money. There is violence because there are guys running around with guns and threatening people. In the words of an intellectual voice of our generation, Sean Corey Carter, otherwise known as Jay-Z, Iraq has got 99 problems, but that's actually it. We have 99 problems. End of sentence. You know who else can't connect cause and effect? Babies younger than 3 years, according to the US Department of Education. The same thing happens when you try to interrogate a 2-year-old. Iyad, what happened? I don't know. Our next prime minister from 2005 to 2006, Ibrahim al-Jafari, who looks like a helmet with a face, was different. Unlike Allawi, he could actually talk about problems people were facing, but just not the problems in Iraq.
منذ أن وطأ آدم عليه السلام بقدميه أديم الأرض جاءت المصائب وياه. ربع العالم اختال ربع العالم بحضور نصف العالم، قابيل وهابيل وآدم وحواء. قتل قابيل وهابيل وبدأ الصراع من اليوم الأول. ربع العالم قتل ربع العالم بشهادة نصف العالم. اليوم العالم غير ذلك العالم. يشتبه من يتصور أن التاريخ مضى. تاريخ قادم.
This was the shortest video that we had. I'm sorry for that. Look at him, dodging all the important questions about Iraq. We could use those dodging skills in the protest today. Anyway, after these 2 wonderful and brilliant minds, we ended up with the star of our episode, our idiot-in-chief, Nouri al-Maliki. This is Nouri. Yeah, I like him very much, actually. I love him. Yeah, before you ask, this is the 3rd prime minister of Iraq in power from 2006 to 2014. No, that's not a middle-aged, burnt-out Squidward. No. Nouri returned to Iraq in 2003 once the US invaded and Saddam Hussein fell from power. He had been gone from the country since 1979. That's 23 years in exile outside Iraq. But his party, the Islamic Dawah Party, turned friendly to the US after the invasion. Somehow, in some way, in 2006, he became prime minister. He was a school teacher beforehand, and with no prior experience, he was able to shape our future as a country. As a side note, I feel like if you become the prime minister, you should at least know how to cast a ballot. Look, I'm sure Nouri could very well do it himself. But you see, as soon as he walks up, the ballot box closes up in disgust. The ballot box knows where that finger has been. Duh. But why? Why was he chosen for this position in the first place? This exiled school teacher, what's his secret formula to political success?
America, fuck yeah, coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America.
Morning.
Oh. And there he is with George Bush. Yes. Oh, look at that. Look, so protective, shielding George like that, remaining by George's side.
I'm impressed by the strength of your character and your desire to succeed. And I'm impressed by your strategy.
Oh, George is impressed? He must have been, given how much they video conferenced. They basically FaceTimed all the time, and they visited each other often, sometimes just dropping in as a surprise.
Breaking news to share with you. President Bush is in Baghdad this morning on an unannounced farewell visit.
I think I'm getting it now, actually, and it's beautiful. Out of all the things that Nouri did while in office, I guess we in Iraq can at least remember him for this. The world's deepest, most tender, most legendary bromance of all time. So, George and Nouri. George? I mean, forget Jon Snow and Samuel Tarly, Mulder and Scully, Kirk and Spock, Sherlock and Watson, or even Bert and Ernie from Sesame Street. None of those mean shit anymore. George and Nouri were something else.
And so I've come to not only look you in the eye,
Baby, when we are together.
Nouri was George's guy in Iraq, his trusted partner. Bush put total faith in Nouri to see Iraq through. But never mind that the deaths of Iraqis and the US soldiers in Iraq almost doubled after Nouri came to power in 2006. Nouri's government absolutely failed to improve security or basic services. They also could not or would not control all the militias running across Iraq. Shia militias were attacking Sunni insurgents, and Sunni insurgents were attacking Shia militias. Iraqi civilians were stuck and often killed in the middle of this crossfire. And the solution to sectarianism that our fave bros for life, George and Nouri, came up with.
This was a main highway in Baghdad. Now it's separating Sunnis from Shia. To the right, we see it's a Shia neighborhood, Qahira, surrounded by blast walls. To the left, it's a Sunni neighborhood, also surrounded by blast walls.
Yes, just to build walls. I can't see you, then you don't exist. You're just playing peekaboo with our problems. I can do this too, actually. California is having a lot of wildfires, right? Right? Has the California government considered setting up a giant curtain so the rich celebrities in Beverly Hills don't have to look at the blaze? In effect, Baghdad became a segregated city. The walls meant that normal Shia and Sunni people were seeing each other less and less, which just builds up sectarian differences that were barely there before. I mean, beforehand, a third of Baghdad was intermarried across sects, Sunni and Shia alike. Yes, that's right. They had sushi children. So what were they going to do? Build walls in the bedrooms? It's okay. The US probably hadn't had any previous experience with segregation, so US leaders couldn't have known that this would go badly when they were designing this policy. And by the way, the blast walls kept the militias from using guns, so the militias just switched to using mortars. The walls didn't even stop anything. As time went on, Nouri began to just single-mindedly divide and conquer his opponents and try to remain in power for as long as possible, just like any other Arab leader. Like, you know that story. It's old, right? Once Nouri really got going though, and even his best friend George started to get nervous, he reassured everyone that no matter what, he really just wouldn't stop.
But says even a negative report will not cause him to change course.
At this point, Nouri ended up having two faces to him. F*** America! Or F*** America.
لكن القليل من الدول والشعوب التي وضعت ثقتها بنا وفي طليعتها أنتم موقفكم هذا يستحق منا الامتنان.
Can I see you in Iran? Maybe sometime soon. Thanks. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you.
مشروع أمريكي صرف، الهدف أمريكي إسرائيلي، الهدف منه السيطرة على المنطقة وتحجيم طاقة العراق لدولة عدوانية. إدارة أوباما كانت خلف تأسيس داعش أيضا لإخراج الحكومة التي على رأسها المالكي.
We always knew he was two-faced. In the 80s, he was in Syria working for the opposition against Saddam Hussein by planning the killings of the Iraqi soldiers. Then he flipped-flopped and became an agent for the Iranians. Then he became an agent for the Syrians again. Then an agent for the Americans. And now, in our current decade, he's an agent for the Iranians again. All we need to know is that this ain't loyal. He was definitely cheating on you, George. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, he was. But in spite of what they knew of his past and what he was up to in the present, the international community, the US specifically, was firmly Team Nouri. The US continued to praise Nouri even as he detained without cause or killed people, and the security situation continued to decline, and divisive sectarian speech was on the rise. I guess, to be fair, Nouri was really good at marketing himself to the Americans when it really mattered. He put such a positive spin on basically everything, even if it meant lying through his teeth.
Where are you failing?
أنا في الحقيقة أفهم مفهوم النجاح والفشل هو نسبي.
Actually, I think that failure and success are relative things, related to the challenges. Considering the challenges that we're facing now, I can say that both relative success and failure are there. The successes that we can talk about lie in the fact that we succeeded in protecting Iraq.
الوضع الأمني متردي جدا، والسبب هو الحكومة ما تتكحل، حكومة صوارية.
من الاستعدادات لتسلم المهام الأمنية كاملة.
After days of tense fighting, Iraqi forces are on the run. And to make it worse, those troops and police apparently left behind a massive cache of weapons, including tanks that have fallen into the hands of the insurgents.
Nouri is like the perfect used car salesman. This baby runs on so much democracy. Oh, the bumper is falling off? Well, that just means that it's been strong enough to not fall off this entire time. And the engine sounds like cats having sex? Well, that just means it's extremely powerful. We certainly don't need America's help with this. Nouri also sounds like your bae when you're trying to figure out why she's on hour 3 of giving you the silent treatment. What is wrong? Nothing. Anything you need? No, I'm fine. I'm okay. It's just nothing. Do you need any military support from the Americans? No, I'm fine. I'm good. I'm good. No, I'm fine. With this poker face. I'm fine. I'm good. Maybe Nouri is just a really self-reliant, really just a supporter of pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. It's like what you guys call the American dream, right? You can't accept any help. You can't even let on that you need help. And this guy was strict about not taking help.
قبل فترة اتصل بي شخص قال لي اكو مبلغ مسجل باسمك 51 مليار دولار. قلت له انت جاد لو تمزح؟ قال لا والله جاد. قلت له انت عاقل لو مجنون؟ قال لا والله عاقل. قلت له ابويا 51 مليار شنو هذه؟ قلت له زين انا ما اريد هاي الفلوس، متنازل عنها الك والهم، خلي ياخذوها. قل لهم مبارك عليكم.
He wants us to believe that he is Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible and he walked away from the dark side. But you know what that call sounds more like? In fact, though, he actually did turn to someone else for some help. after his years of being George's Iraqi brother, something changed. Yes, that is right. There is a new bromance in town.
700 وثيقة سربت من أرشيف الاستخبارات الإيرانية بيّنت الآلية التي تتبعها إيران لزيادة نفوذها في العراق. الوثائق كشفت أن إيران تعتمد على ولاء عدد من السياسيين العراقيين، بعضهم وصل لموقع رئاسة الوزراء وآخرين كانوا أعضاء في مجلس الوزراء، ويعد رئيس الوزراء الأسبق نوري المالكي حليفا مفضلا لإيران.
Nouri was able to use America as his support until he no longer needed them to get power. Then, as if America was just another one-night stand, he said, America, no, we can't have breakfast. Just get out. And then he struck deals with Iran under the table to preserve his power. Today, Iranian-backed militias are killing our people. The US helped hand Iraq over to the Iranians. And Nouri, our flip-flopping middle-aged burnt-out Squidward, was a major figure who made that all possible. So today, Iraq is just another arena for competing foreign influences, thanks to Nouri. Conflict between other powers like the US and Iran never has the Iraqi people in mind. Our interests don't matter, and our people are going to suffer unless we make our voices heard. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Or if you are Nouri al-Maliki, please flip-flop your way back to Bikini Bottom. Or maybe just down to hell.